on this demonstration of the power of the Pinnacle Series from Eagle Point, a complete online learning and productivity platform. I want to say a massive thank you to Amanda for joining us from over the other side at, I think it's about 10 o'clock at night over there. And Amanda assures me that she doesn't even need coffee because she's so excited to be engaging with us here down under. So Amanda, I'm going to hand over to you, and thank you again, and looking forward to your presentation and demonstration.
Oh, perfect. Thank you, Karen. And you're generous. I'm actually, it's only 9 here, so it's not quite 10. And I am very excited to take this opportunity to share with you the Pinnacle Series platform. So as this slide mentions, my name is Amanda Wackendorf. I'm the Solution Delivery Team Lead here at Eagle Point, and that's just a fancy way of saying that I lead a couple of different teams, one being our customer success team, and the second being our content and technical services team, so the team that actually creates and curates the content that lives in the platform. With my team is also Alex Zamora, so you may cross paths with him at some point in time in the future. He works very closely with Karen in the A2K team. And Alec is actually on the other side of the world over in London right now, so we're all spread everywhere, but very excited to be able to have the opportunity to speak with you all today. So for our agenda, I'm not going to spend a lot of time in PowerPoint, really going to spend most of our time actually in the platform talking about Pinnacle Series and what it can do for you. But I'd like to take a moment and pause and talk a little bit about who is Eagle Point, and then why the Pinnacle Series actually exists, what really drove us to create the platform, and then we'll do the presentation and of course close out with some Q&A and next steps. And so please feel free to chat those messages out. Karen, if you can keep an eye on those for me, please feel free to jump in. Otherwise, we'll just kind of table them towards the end if that works. And with that, we'll go ahead and just get started here. So Eagle Point has actually been in the AEC space for about 35 years, or just over 35 years. We were actually one of the founding members of the Autodesk Developer Network. And for the majority of that time, we're actually creating design and engineering platforms that operated on top of design platforms from Autodesk. So vertical products that have either since been retired, or many of them actually are still in production, but were purchased by Autodesk and now operating under different names. But around the 2006 time period, Pinnacle Series was developed, and really it was developed because we began to see common themes emerging with our clients. I'm going to talk about that in just a moment. But since 2006, the Pinnacle Series has continued to grow. We have over 130,000 registered users of the platform today, and those are global users throughout the world. We do continue to operate with the Autodesk Developer Network, and the content that you'll see in the platform today, although spans a variety of titles, largely centers around the Autodesk and other AEC platforms. So that content is created internally for the most part by our architects and engineers who have real-world project experience. So experienced professionals who then create the content that lives in the platform. And then lastly, I also today am going to talk a little bit about our integration with KnowledgeSmart. We feel it's a very powerful tool, really allowing organizations to provide their end users with some personalized training. But to really set the stage, I want to take a moment and talk a little bit about why Pinnacle Series exists, why we even decided to create the platform, and why we feel so passionately about it today. And really it's because we continue to see time after time organizations struggling with these 3 main problems. The concept of continuous learning, knowledge capturing and sharing, and increased productivity. So to help organizations overcome those, we really took a deep dive and a deep look at them. We really felt that the concept of continuous learning is pretty universal in the AEC space. It's really difficult for organizations to stay on top of the technology that feels like it changes almost on a daily basis anymore, as organizations try to stay on top of the latest versions, the latest trends, and then to fully leverage the platforms that they have access to ensure that you're really getting the most out of your technology and that you're staying on really the cutting edge of the industry. Above and beyond that, as we all know, that it's very difficult to find the right people to join your firms. And once you find those people, there's always just a time period of onboarding where it's a little bit of a challenge for firms to ensure that you're training people on not just how to use these platforms, but how you use these platforms and how you want them working day to day, and the workflows and policies and best practices you want them following. And lastly, we really found that it's a challenge to target individual skills gaps, to really train people on exactly what they need to know, when they need to know it, and then to be able to make that training very efficient and engaging because it's targeted at the individual end user. So that's the first problem that we were seeking to solve. The second one really centered around that concept of knowledge capturing and sharing. And I think we can all relate that usually within firms, there's a few people maybe scattered throughout a couple different offices or maybe a couple different teams that are really your internal experts. Those are the people that get tapped on the shoulder when there's fires to put out, when you need to have some help on a project. Those are the people that have all of the knowledge and the best practices and the workflows and the best ways of leveraging these platforms in their heads. And the challenge for firms lies in when those people retire or maybe move on to another firm, that knowledge leaves out the door with them. It's also really difficult to continue to get project work done when those people are stretched so thin, working on various projects all at the same time or being pulled off of their project in order to help others. So it's really the ability to take those standards, those best practices, that best way of working, and to share that seamlessly across your teams, really wanting everyone following the same workflows, the same procedures, and the same standards. And lastly, these two things really are targeted at increasing productivity. At the end of the day, you and I both know productivity is king. It's the most important thing that we're focused on. We're all here to create high quality projects on time, under budget, really making your clients very happy and continuing to remain leaders in the AEC space. So to do so, we really feel very passionately that really comes from sharing your best practices, your consistent workflows in order to create very consistent modeling, very high quality models that meet your standards, that have the same look and feel, and also to keep people in production, to give them help when they need it. Really that empowerment of your end users to find the solutions that they need at their fingertips, and not just any solution, the solution you want them to find. And really all of this is driving productivity because you're able to keep individuals on the project work and in production. So lastly, just to recap really quickly, Pinnacle Series is really targeted at the concept of continuous learning, knowledge capturing and sharing, and increasing productivity. So as I walk through the demonstration today, I'm going to continue to reference back to these three main problems because we feel very passionately about them. They are at the core of the Pinnacle Series and why the Pinnacle Series exists today. So with that, I'm going to jump out of PowerPoint and jump into the Pinnacle Series platform. So as my screen refreshes here, the first thing you should notice is the Pinnacle lives in a browser. So the platform is mobile friendly as well. We do have an installed application that you can leverage as well, but it's mobile friendly. You can use whatever browser friendly. You can use whatever browser type you'd like. I prefer Chrome, but if you like Edge or Safari or another browser, that's fine. The platform's going to operate the same. I'm going to spend most of my time today, though, in the center part of the screen. We're either going to be searching for content, accessing content in my work groups, or accessing content through my courses. So with that, I'm going to take a quick moment to do a tour here of the homepage. Along the left-hand side, this panel is fully customizable, so you add in your logos, your images here, really customizing this to make this an internal solution. We've found that our clients that are the most successful really have made Pinnacle Series a part of their internal organization. So add in the links here that users need access to, making Pinnacle kind of that one-stop shop. People don't need to go to one platform and then another platform and another. They can link everything right here in Pinnacle. Directly below that are our asset libraries, and this is where both your custom content and our out-of-the-box content lives. So Pinnacle Series has unlimited cloud storage. We'll talk about customization in a moment, but this first library gives you an idea of the types of content users are creating and sharing within the platform. So you really can add in content on any title that you'd like. It doesn't necessarily have to be around a software platform. But directly below that are out-of-the-box libraries. And you would work with Karen and the team at A2K there to really decide what libraries are important to you. But they're quite deep here, especially surrounding the Autodesk titles, as we've been in that space for quite a long time. And really, as end users are navigating to content, they can always click right in from here and begin just perusing the libraries that are available. Now, we have content going all the way back to 2012 on the hero products for Pinnacle Series, or excuse me, for Autodesk. And that's where users can start expanding this out and seeing the learning and the workflows, the documents and videos available to them. But by and large, because these libraries are so deep, users are accessing content through their home pages. So of course you can navigate in if you know exactly where something's located for you, but by and large, users generally access content through their home page. So with that, I'd like to get started talking about Pinnacle Series being leveraged for learning. So this area called My Courses, just because that's the first problem we talked about, and I think it resonates with everyone. We all can kind of get our heads around learning and what learning looks like. So Pinnacle Series is a fully customizable platform that allows you to consume learning as an end user, either that you've assigned yourself, so you've logged out here, you've searched or maybe navigated into some learning and enrolled in some learning, and you can see that on your home page here. If I expand this out, I can see all of the courses that I'm currently enrolled in. Otherwise, they may have been enrolled in, I may have been enrolled in them by a manager. So in that case, I received an email and a notification to let me know I've been assigned some training, or through our integration with KnowledgeSmart. So to just talk through that integration for a moment, KnowledgeSmart is the leader in the AEC space for skills assessments. They have a variety of assessments available to you that you would choose from, and then these are also fully customizable, but they're half-hour to an hour-long actual skills assessments that users would take. So a manager would send an end user or even an interviewee an invitation for an assessment. They would come out to the KnowledgeSmart platform and consume that assessment, walk through it. It's a combination of both do you know and can you do questions. And immediately upon the completion of that assessment, they would be assigned a personalized learning path. And I can see this one's a little different than my other ones because it's got a little trophy here in the upper left-hand corner, indicating for me this is one that's been assigned to me is based on a skills assessment that I took. So this one is in response to a Civil 3D assessment that I completed through the KnowledgeSmart platform. I can see right off the top here that I have actually tested out of 3 of the 8 courses that are a part of this learning path. I can then come in here and hit play and begin consuming the content that's a part of this course. But if I'm interested to see all of the content that I tested out of, I can do that just by extending out this show all items. And then I can begin seeing as an end user exactly everything that I've tested out of that I no longer have to consume. So it just makes the learning process much more pared down and targeted to the individual end user. It also expedites training as well. From the management piece, I want to take a moment and talk about what that assignment process looks like. You would give the right people there at your firm access to the installed management utility application. Now, all of these areas are rights driven, but in the assignment of KnowledgeSmart assessments or learning, you just jump right out here to your assign and assessments area, select the assessment that you would like to assign, and then add your users by groups, by users, or by interviewees. By doing this, you'll be able to add in their name and email address and hit OK. Once you've got the users there, just toggle on automatically assign personalized training, and the training will then populate immediately upon conclusion of their assessment. Now, all of this really is most powerful when you take a moment and customize it. We found that organizations, although the out-of-the-box training is very, very powerful, find the most use out of their custom training that they've created. And we know that this takes time. It takes a lot of time to gather all of the necessary materials together to form a course and to form a learning path. So what we really encourage you to do is to copy down any of the hundreds and courses that live in the platform and to customize them yourself. So this is getting started in Revit Learning Path. I copied down from our cloud. I can just go into the courses that are in here and see the content that lives within that course. Now I can begin adding in my own video content or my own written content and then removing the content that's not valuable to me. So if this isn't how I want my users working, I just hit remove and it's gone from this course. Now I have a fully customized course that I can begin assigning out to my end users and having accessible to them. So the customization piece is very easy, and we're going to jump back to that in just a few minutes. But in the meantime, I'm going to switch gears and talk about how Pinnacle Series is used for learning. So Pinnacle Series, or excuse me, for working. So we've talked about this concept of learning. I think we can all agree how very, very important learning is. But at the end of the day, we really spend maybe 10% of our professional time learning. Most of our time is going to be spent in project work, being productive, trying to get things done. So that's when Pinnacle Series becomes really that one-stop shop for your internal information, how you want users working, and the solutions that they need when they are stuck. So just for a moment, we're going to think about how now I've onboarded on a firm, I've come through and I took the KnowledgeSmart assessments I needed to take, and I completed the training that was assigned to me as a result of those assessments. And now I'm on project work and I'm stuck and I need help. Instead of tapping someone on the shoulder and pulling them out of production, I come over here and I run a quick search. Pinnacle Series then begins searching through all of the content that lives in the platform, not just the videos and documents and workflows that are out of the box, but anything you've added, and then begins to populate that here in your search. So you can use the filters there to filter down the content, but within that search, once I've opened up those documents, I can see that written documents are really a written quick tip, trick. It's a fast answer to get a user back to work, back consuming the content they need to be consuming, and being productive as possible. There's also going to be things like screen captures and hyperlinks, tool links out to other pieces of content as well. Now I can share this out if I'm the person who's been tapped on the shoulder for help. I can share this quick little document out and let my end users know that they should be accessing this. But at the end of the day, documents are really targeted at increasing productivity by ensuring that you have the right information at your fingertips. Now we talked about custom documents. In creating these, it's a simple drag and drop for Word, Excel, PowerPoint, HTML, and PDF. So any content you have living somewhere today on a SharePoint or on a shared drive or in a variety of locations like many firms do, simply drag and drop them into the platform. They're fully searchable. This searching mechanism actually searches not only their title, but down within the documents themselves as well. So looking for those keywords, ensuring that your users are finding what they're looking for. So that's documents. When I come back in and run another search today and show you the other pieces of content that are available to you in the platform. We do also have videos. So videos are going to be short, 5-minute or less videos to get your users the answer they need and back to work. As I hit play, you'll see along the right-hand side here, we have a scrolling intelligent transcript. Now this transcript is following the narrator as he is speaking. And if I scroll down and click down here, it is responsive to me, so it's going to click ahead. So if I've skimmed ahead and I know exactly what I need to, where I need the video to start, I can do that. If I've missed something they say, I can click back up. The video is going to back up for me. There's also some neat features over here to speed up and slow down and go full screen and so on. But one thing that's available to you not only in videos, but also in all of the asset types is this concept of related. And this is also available to you in documents as well. But related items really point your users at additional things that if they don't quite find the answer they're looking for on the piece of content they're on, related items will also suggest some additional materials to point them in the right direction. And come back home now, or back to my search here. And I'd also like to show you workflows. So we've talked about standards and best practices. Workflows really are the best way to ensure that your team is all working the same way. And workflows can be navigated through the center graphical screen or through the tree view along the left-hand side, but it's really the ability to standardize the individual steps and tasks that users are taking to complete a process. Now, these again are fully customizable, but as I navigate through the workflow, the individual instructions on how I should be proceeding through this process populate along the right-hand side for me. And I can choose one view over the other. So if I prefer the tree view, I can do that, or the diagram view, but I'll keep both of them up for now. But as I walk through this process of work sharing, I can see the written directions that guide me in what I need to be doing. The screen captures to point me in the right direction, and actually tool-link command. So if I hit this collaborate command, Revit opens up for me. There's the collaborate ribbon, and I'm off and running. I really can actually run commands from the platform. So you're not just pointing people where they need to go, you're running the command for them. So now they're not spending time looking for the right command to be running. In addition to those tool links, we also have reference materials embedded within the workflow. So as I'm walking through this workflow, if I need a little bit more information on creating the central model, I come out here, consume this quick 3-minute video, close out, and continue on to my next step. The power of workflows comes in really having your workflow on one screen, your project on the other, and step by step walking through the process and the task.
Amanda,
Now,
excuse me.
yes, sure.
Hi, we've got a question from Vanessa, and she's asking us, in the auto scroll script on videos, are you able to search for keywords?
Yes, so that's the power of this the scrolling transcript. Thank you, Vanessa, for pointing that out. The transcript is now searchable, so you've quite literally made the spoken word searchable. Now, transcripts are available on all of the content we have out of the box, but I mentioned unlimited cloud storage and I mentioned uploading your content, and I think that's a really nice transition because I was just going to talk about how we create and edit content, but videos that you upload into Pinnacle Series, with one click, you can actually add in that transcript. So if this video needed a transcript, I just select modify here. This is one I've uploaded to the platform, and I just hit auto transcribe, and it's going to voice to text transcribe my video. Now, I do want to go back in and do a little bit of QA QC, but that's actually the tool that we leverage here in-house. We found that it's quite powerful and that it's quite successful in creating those transcripts. So very good question. Thank you so much. In addition to managing content, we've talked about how you do that with learning paths and with videos. Documents are just drag and drop your content right into the platform, and it'll display in its native format. But also workflows are very quickly and easily edited. So this workflow is one I've downloaded from our Pinnacle Series cloud, and I can come in and see this is really the out-of-the-box way of project setup. What I can do is very quickly just start moving these around. Maybe I want to modify this task. And from here, I can add in the specific details I want users knowing. By publishing this and hitting OK, it's immediately available in the cloud for end users to access. So let's run a quick search on the headquarters workflow here and take a look at those edits that I've made. I can see the new layout there, not quite as streamlined as the other one, but can right off the bat see the edits that are being made. Now, of course, there's some general recommendations that we'll make on visibility, helping you to ensure that content is really ready to be published for your teams before you do that. But we really want you to know the power in the platform comes from you customizing the content and adding in your additional content. So let me come back home, because you've seen searching and navigating, and there's a depth of content in the platform. We really want to make sure that users are finding the content that they need when they need it. So I talked about being able to search, but there's also work groups. So work groups really is the ability to pull the right group of people together at the right time for the right information. They're fully customizable, so you can create work groups centered around a job role, an office, a region, a project, a division, a discipline. Really, for any reason you'd have a team together, you can pull those people together and add in the right content. So along the right-hand side here, I have the owners of the work group, the people who can add in users and content, the editors, the people who can just add in content or remove content, and users. These are the people that can come out and begin consuming the information that's here. So within this work group, I have the right learning, the right documents, the right workflows and videos to get my team all working the same way. And they can also come out here and make some comments if that's helpful, or maybe share a tip or a trick. But within this work group, every time content is added or removed, all end users receive a notification. And of course, you can push these notifications to emails if that's more valuable to you. But we want to ensure that we're communicating with your team members as content is changed throughout the platform. So again, really the ability to pull in any group of users for any reason and share the right content with them. You can also work on some visibility settings so that only the right people see the right content. So there's a lot of customization options there. I'm going to come back home now. Another way that users are accessing content in the platform, really able to find the information that they're looking for as they need it, is through this concept of my assets. So as I am in a piece of content, like that headquarters workflow that I was just in, if I'm coming back to this routinely and I need to find it on a regular basis and I would prefer not to search for it, I can select this little share icon here and share that right into my assets. Once I go back home, the My Assets will then display my new workflow right here, and I can see all of the content that I access on a regular basis here. This is also where, as an end user, I can download content for offline viewing. So if I'm going on a job site or I'm getting on a plane and I'm going to lose internet connection, I can download content so that I can still have access to it. Not only downloads to my machine for 2 weeks, for 14 days. Once that 14-day mark hits, user gets a notification that the content is expiring. We really want to be mindful of your user space on their machines and not downloading a lot of content that's just sitting there. I can also create my own documents here as an individual end user. So if I have a solution or tip or a trick or something I want to remember, I can come out here, give it a quick title, type in the information I need to know and add in the hyperlinks and maybe do a little bit of customization if that's helpful to me, and then hit save. And now I've got the Post-it notes off my desk and organized. I've got all of my notes that I kind of shove in drawers somewhere where I can search for them, I can find them, and I can actually tap on my leadership shoulder and say, hey, I created a cheat sheet called Title. It's really helpful for me. I'd recommend we maybe publish that and share that out with the team. And now we're very quickly sharing information across your organization from any and all end users without giving everyone management utility application rights. So that's the My Assets area there. One of the really exciting integrations that Pinnacle Series launched this year actually comes when users are not logged in. So I want to pause for a moment because at the end of the day, someday someone's going to forget to log in. We do a lot of recommendations around marketing and sharing information with your users to make sure users have the right information at their hands. But if for some reason I forgot to log in today, Pinnacle Series actually has an integration in with Revit, AutoCAD, and Civil 3D that allows end users to access content contextually while they're in project work. So while I'm in project work, this little window popped up on the other screen and now generates contextual content for me as I'm working. So it's running a search in Pinnacle Series. Excuse me. Running a search in Pinnacle Series related to exactly how I'm working, the commands I'm running, what I'm doing in my project work. And it's populating for me the workflows, the cheat sheets, the documents, the videos, the information that I need to know as an end user to ensure that not only I'm working, but I'm working the way my firm wants me to work. Because I can now tag as a firm the custom content you want populating here for you, so not just the out-of-the-box content. So it's all fully customizable, making sure that you have the right information in front of the right people at the right time. Now, speaking of management and how Pinnacle Series is back-ended, let me bring my Pinnacle back up here and my management utility application. I'm going to talk about these other two areas really quickly. The first one is usage reports. Now, we understand for your teams, it's valuable to understand your return on investment and how users are leveraging the platform. So we have a robust reporting mechanism back-ending the Pinnacle Series that shows you not only who's logging in, what resources are they accessing, what are they searching, how are they learning, and what content are they contributing into the platform. Specifically, we drill right into learning reports separately, and this is where you can see not only who's learning, but how they're doing with their learning. So you can come into the report details of these dashboards and really start to unpack this data further. Now, it's all fully able to be exported out into Excel or another platform. We do have a fully exposed API if that's valuable for your teams. But you can start diving into the actual end users' consumption of learning. So who's learning, how much content they're reviewing, the time they're spending reviewing that content, and how they're scoring on their quiz. So if China only scored 55% on this quiz, I should probably loop back with her and see how she's doing. Maybe we need to have another conversation or re-enroll in the training. So the data on the back end really is going to be the ability for you to monitor how people are leveraging the platform. For the administration of the platform, we do fully integrate with Active Directory, so we can sync with your Active Directory. We have a variety of options here for SSO. We'd work with you on the correct rights to set up for your team members, and this is where you'd actually come in and customize the platform for your own purposes. So again, fully customizable right out here in your administrator utility area. So really between the concept of learning and working, Pinnacle Series is targeted at helping your end users to find the content they need to remain as productive as possible. So I'm going to open my PowerPoint back up here and go ahead and open it up for some questions.
Hi, Amanda. We did have a couple through there. Now, Mr. Anonymous, or Ms. Anonymous, has asked, how does auto-translate on audio detection work with different accents?
That's a good question. So Pinnacle Series does offer the ability to translate in over 65 languages, but it does translate only the written word. So we do not actually do verbal translations where a accent would come into play more heavily, but we do translate the written word in full. So I hope that answers the question. Great question. Thank you.
Is that the same in the videos as well?
Yes, so that's throughout the platform in the written transcripts. So if I jump back out here to a video, any of the written information is what would be translated, but actually the spoken word is not. Correct. I apologize for not being too clear on that.
Excellent, thank you. Can we revisit Vanessa's question from earlier on, and perhaps Vanessa might like to pop on and explain a little bit more about what she was wanting to understand about the auto scroll script on the videos and the searching. So Vanessa, can you unmute and ask your question, please?
Hi, sorry, yes, I can. So my question was with searching for keywords in the transcript. So as the video is playing, are you able, and I noticed that as you're hovering your mouse over the sections in the transcript there, so that's fine if you wanted to jump straight to those items in the transcript, but if it's quite a large or quite a lengthy transcript that you're reading through, are you able to search on the transcript for keywords that you're wanting to find?
Sure. No, great question. We've been able in the past to just hit Control F and hit example.
Yeah.
Or
yeah, that's
whatever
kind of
the word is you're searching
saying.
for.
Yep,
you got it. And then it will go ahead and start highlighting that keyword.
That's just a simple Control F and that will box will pop up.
Yep.
Okay, thanks.
No, good question. I apologize. I didn't understand that fully to
No,
begin
that's
with. Thank
okay.
you for clarifying, though.
No worries. Thank you.
And I think, Vanessa, you had another question too, did you, about the capability to integrate with standalone learning management systems?
Yes. So how does this work with LMSs? Are we using this, like the Pinnacle platform, as to act like a kind of an LMS, or is there the capability to integrate, like once you have completed, say, courses or things like that in here? Can they go back to like an organisation's LMS to either correct learning activities that might be in there to say that you've completed things, kind of like what you've got going on there with the My Courses? Is there SCORM file capability, I suppose?
No, good question. So Pinnacle Series does have the fully exposed API, so we really want to give you the ability to integrate it in with other platforms. So I have firms doing that not only with LMS systems they're running, but maybe they have some data management systems where they're flowing learning data and consumption data into another management system, or their own data from maybe a SharePoint site, from there into Pinnacle, so back and forth, really trying to streamline the exchange of data through that API. So it's largely dependent on the platform that you're looking to integrate in with. Some platforms will allow for a larger integration than others, and really, so it's a case-by-case basis on how far we can take that, but we do have that fully exposed API for that integration. Now, in regards to, there was a second piece of your question on SCORM content. We currently don't support SCORM, but I can tell you that it is on our roadmap. We are committed to adding in that functionality. I just don't quite have a timeline on that now. But what I can say is that we have a number of clients who are requesting that functionality, and it is something that we're committed to adding into the platform. Great questions. Thank you.
Do we have anyone else with questions?
Type them in the Q&A box.
Yeah, type them in the box and we'll get some answers. Hope so, because I'm really enjoying these questions and I'm learning a lot. Okay, Stephen, yes, what is the cost? And that's a good one, and we'll take that offline. I'll get back to you, because it does depend on how many, etc., how many different libraries you're wanting, whether it's just your Autodesk or different things as well. So let's chat about that afterwards, but thank you for that one. Others? Any other questions, please? Well, it seems, Amanda, that you have done such an amazing job of covering everything, that at the moment there's no questions. But if anyone thinks of anything, certainly please just send them through to me, and I'll get those answers ASAP for you.
Wonderful. Thank you for joining us today and for inviting me in. It's been my pleasure to share with you the platform. So thank you very much for inviting me. And Karen, please let me know if there's anything further I can assist you with at all.
I certainly will, and thank you very much, Amanda. It's been wonderful. We'll let you go now and put your feet up, and have a good night.
Thank you so much. You enjoy the rest of your day, everyone, and I hope to hear from you soon.
Talk soon. Oh, okay. Yes, someone else is. There's a few people with cost questions, so I'll take them offline. I'll contact you all. But if anybody wants to contact me directly, it's Karen, Karen, .Lloyd, LLOYD, at A2K technologies.com.au. Look forward to speaking with you all and have a great day. Thank you.